friends, welcome back to my channel. If you are a returning subscriber, hi, and also if you are new, hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Mary. So for today's video, I'm going to be giving you guys a tutorial on my go-to summer glam look, my flawless go-to summer glam look. As you guys can see, I look like I'm summer ready, like I'm ready to be outside. So I'm going to be giving you guys how I achieve this look. My cheeks look very flushed, I look sunburned, and yeah, this look is very summer perfect. So if you guys want to know how I achieve this look, then you want to make sure you stick with me, watch this video to the end. And also if you're new here, please give me a like, subscribe, and also leave me a comment. Tell me if you like this video and what kind of makeup content you'd like to see on my channel, and I'll be very happy to do that for you. So yeah, let's get into the video. Alright love, so jumping right into voiceover, I'm going to start off by prepping my lids with the Morphe concealer. You always want to use a concealer or an eyeshadow base that dries, that dries to a tacky consistency. You don't want something that is creamy so that your eyeshadow is not ruined. So yeah, basically I'm just going to use that to prep my lids. So next, I'm using my Adventure Makeup setting powder to set my lids. You don't have to do this step, but because I'm going for a really simple eye look, I'm going to make sure my lid is set because I'm not trying to do too much. So I'm also going to set my brows at the same time to make it less harsh. Then jumping right into this eye look, I used just this one palette, and that's the Juviasplace palette in collaboration with Vanessa Gyimiah. So I started off with this brown shade from the palette. Everything I used, like this is like a full face of this palette. Everything I used, starting from my eyes to my blush to my highlights, everything was from this palette alone. Like if you are going on vacation and you need that palette, like that one palette that you can use for everything that will serve you, this is the palette for you. I use it for everything, and you guys can see how the makeup would turn out. So yeah, I highly recommend. So I went into that orange shade after using the brown shade to map out how I want my eyeshadow to go. Then I went to the orange shade to blend it out. You guys know how we do it over here. So because I want this look to be very, very soft, very blended well, I'm making sure I take my time to really diffuse the two colors together. Then for the last shade, I'm going into that gold shade called Extra. You guys can see on the pan, it looks gold, but the color is really strange. Not strange, like strange in a good way. It's not just gold. It has like a reflex of different colors. Like, I don't know if it shows very well on my eyelid, like on camera, but when in person, when I was doing it, I was like, is this gold? Is this blue? Is this purple? Is this like silver? It was a very beautiful gold shade that had reflex of different other colors. When I use it for my highlights, you guys are going to see what I'm talking about. Like it was more evident there, so you guys understand what I'm trying to say. But yeah, I just applied that on my lid, very, very simple, and that's all. So now I'm going to do my winged liner because this look will not be complete without a winged liner. So yeah, I'm making sure I do my wing really extra. As you guys can see, I try to do my wing on camera. You guys, it's really hard for me, but just so you guys know how to do your wing, yeah, I did one eye on camera, and then I went off camera to do my second eye. So yeah, so I went off camera to pop on some lashes, and this lashes is from a Nigerian brand. It's called Rjprobeauty. So yeah, now to prep my skin, I'm going into the Cetaphil moisturizer. You want your skin to be moisturize. You guys know we love moisture over here. So yeah, I'm using my Cetaphil moisturizer. I'm making sure I go under my eye. Then for primer, I'm going into the Elf Poreless Putty Primer. This primer, it's a really nice primer, but I don't really know if it helps to hold sweat. I feel like it does for a while, and then like it helps, but it doesn't really last long, in my opinion. I don't like sweat a lot, so it doesn't happen for me. But when I use it on someone, I kind of peeped that was what was happening. So yeah, I guess if you don't sweat a lot, you can definitely use that primer. And also the primer is a blurring primer, so it really helps to like blur out your pores. Then for foundation, I'm going into my Maybelline Fitme foundation, and for reference, I'm in the shade 340 Cappuccino. So I'm using my brush to apply that all over my face. Then I'm going into my favorite beauty sponge, which is from Girls Corner on Instagram. So yeah, I'm just using my sponge to blend my foundation into my skin. Then I'm going to highlight my face with the Juviasplace concealer in the shade J10. This is like the perfect nude shade. This is like, if you are looking for something that looks like Ellie Girl Pro concealer in fun, I think this is almost like it. So yeah, I'm using that and I'm applying it on my forehead, my chin, and under my eyes, and I'm going back into my blending sponge to make sure that everything is well blended into my skin. Then for my bright under eye, I'm going into my Morphe concealer in the shade C315, and I'm applying that on the areas I want to bring light to my face. Then I'm going into my makeup brush from BH Cosmetics, and I'm just using that to pat the concealer into my skin. Then after I use a brush, I was listening to something which was very funny, but anyways, after I use my brush, and I go in with my beauty blender to give it one final blend and make sure that everything is well blended into my skin. So after blending with my beauty blender, one of my pro tip is your foundation brush is your best friend. You guys can see that my face had like some harsh lines, like the concealer marks were still showing, but once you go in with your foundation brush, everything is going to be well blended. So yeah, in case you have like a makeup mistake, your foundation brush is your best friend. Then I'm going into cream blush, and I'm using one from phoeracosmetics. I'm making sure to blend it well into my skin. Then after I'm done with all the creams, I'm going into setting powder, and I'm starting off with the Adventure Makeup setting powder in the shade Banana. Then after that, I'm going into my Airspun setting powder. The Airspun setting powder, I love it so much. It's really lightweight and it blends really well, and I think it's also perfect for all skin tones. So yeah, I think this particular powder is perfect for all skin tones because it's a translucent powder, not a setting powder. So yeah, after that, I'm going into contour, I think. So after using my setting powder, I'm going into my face powder, and I'm using my two shades. I'm mixing those two shades to get my perfect shade, and I'm applying that all over my face. I'm making sure I blend everything into my skin before I jump into contour. For contour, I'm using the Maybelline Fitme contour palette in the shade Cacao, and I'm just using that to bronze up my cheeks. Then after I do all that, I'm going to bake the bridge of my nose and also go into my contour to snatch the sides of my nose. So going back into that palette, I told you guys I'm mixing those two shades and I'm using that as my blush. This palette is very pigmented, so your blush is going to be pigmented, but it depends on how you build up the color. You know what I'm trying to say. So yeah, you're just going to mix those two shades and make sure you blend it really well. And you guys can see the kind of brush I'm using, so it's not difficult for me to blend my blush. Then I'm going into my setting powder again. Then to complete the eye look, I'm going back into that orange and brown shade, and I'm just using that to smudge my lower lash line to tie the whole eye look together. Then I'm going back into that palette and I'm popping that gold shade again into my inner corner. So jumping right into the lips, I'm going into my Davy's eyebrow pencil. I'm just going to use that to line my lip. Then for my lip combo, I'm going to go into the Juviasplace Sleepy in the shade Mademoiselle, and I'm also using the NYX Butter Gloss in the shade Fortune Cookie. And then you guys already know this look cannot be complete without a gloss, without a clear gloss. So I'm just going into any random clear gloss and I'm using that to blend my whole lip combo together. And you guys know I always use the bottom part of my brush for this step. Then I'm going back into that palette and you guys will see what I'm talking about now, how it looks on my cheeks. It doesn't look gold, it looks, can you guys see? That doesn't look like what it looks like on the palette. It looks purple or blue or something. It doesn't look gold. You guys can see what I'm talking about. So yeah, but if you don't mind, then you can use it. I personally I don't mind. I can rock it and I'm okay with it. So yeah, if that's your cup of tea, then you can definitely use it. Also, I'm just going to go back into my setting powder brush and I'm just blending out the baking powder from my nose. Then I'm just going to use the brush again to blend my whole face together before I set. For setting, I'm going to go into the elf dewy coconut setting mist and I'm just spraying that all over my face. I'm drowning myself in my spray. So yeah, that's all for this look, guys. I hope you loved it. I hope you enjoyed it. I really hope you learned a thing or two. If you did, please give me a like, comment what looks you'd like to see from me, and also subscribe to my channel. I'll be so happy to see you subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.